Hey, welcome to the first proper episode of Parallax Conversations. I did and made the rookie error of uploading the main content without actually doing an intro to the podcast. So, welcome. Hope you enjoy this first episode where I've deep dived into a brand and experience and thing that I love down here and wish I could do all the time. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, hopefully I won't forget to do this intro properly next time. Hey, my name is Scott Morgan. I am the founder of Parallax Thinking. Parallax was set up primarily to help businesses where what they do and what they sell is really strong. But the way it comes across just isn't doing it justice. And that disconnect is almost always causing them to lose customers and revenue that they don't even realize that they're missing. And so I help business owners see what's not landing and why, and then we work together to close that gap. Before this, I spent a decade inside Jaguar and Range Rover working on the strategy for both of those. So a lot of what I bring comes from that experience and understanding that how a business shows up isn't separate from how it performs commercially. It's always the same thing. So today I thought I'd take you through the process a little bit behind the scenes, and looking at a real local business to me. And we're going to focus on the website. The business is Saltwater Sauna. They are a great local brand. I picked them because I love the saltwater sauna. The experience itself is really cool, and I would recommend anyone to have a go and experience it. It's kind of addictive. It sounds a bit daunting at first, but I genuinely think everyone should give it a go. And they're doing really well. And so this isn't a wanting to critique every aspect of their website and say what's failing, because what they're doing is working. But I just wanted to use them to highlight some things that I noticed that maybe others don't, and maybe you can apply some of that to your own business. And I'm just going to focus on the website because there's obviously so much more that comes to how you show up and where, but the website is one of the main places where your brand and how you show up exists. So let's dive in. Now I'm a little square. As you can see from the website, on my first impressions are the colors are really warm, it's really inviting, functionality is really good. I mean, the video quality for me is the thing that draws me in straight away. I think it's stunning. I love how it's consistent. It's clearly professionally done, and it's drawing me in closer. And I just want to be one of those people in the video experiencing the sauna experience. I think what I would say though about the videos is that knowing that it's a wellness brand, so I'm trying to come at this cold, but knowing it's a wellness brand, it's right there in the middle. And knowing it's about breath work and taking a moment to step out of the rat race and into kind of this moment of pausing and reflecting. The video, how quickly the videos are cycling through is slightly too quick for me. And I'd probably advise that needs slowing down, because it's giving an energy that isn't matching what the service is trying to sell. And so I think slowing that down a little bit would help. I think that is especially for this sort of business. It's not always right to slow things down, but I think for saltwater sauna especially, that'd be something really key to do. If I have a look at the other bits, I think the credentials across the bottom that are scrolling are really good. It gives credibility straight away. Immediately I'm like, oh, wow, this is it's been featured in a lot of places. It's building trust with me. I'm being drawn in and kind of feeling like, okay, this is something that I'm happy to give a go and I want to get involved with. What I would say is, again, it just needs a bit more space between each of those. It feels very congested and very crowded. And so giving each of those testimonial mention brands a bit of space will give them a bit more presence on their own, because there's some massive names like Esquire, National Magazine, and some national newspapers, giving them a bit more space to breathe so that the customer can soak that in, I think would be really useful. This is something, this is more of a small thing, but you can see how I think it'd be just better to have the ancient roots modern wellness, this hero section, fill the screen. Um, it's a small tweak in how the website's built, but I think that just gives a bit more impact and, again, doesn't add too much noise and overwhelm to this, essentially the front of the shop. And this is like, some people may only ever come and experience saltwater sauna from this very first page. It needs to work really well. I think the buttons along the top are really clear. It's really simple to go and click through and go, okay, I want to know what the experience is. Oh, I want to see what they are. Visuals intriguing. It makes me want to click through. And obviously there's a really clear book option. So that's really great. I think, again, you want to really understand what it is your website is doing. And sometimes I see it too often where brands are trying to use their website to do everything. And so everything becomes really crowded and overwhelming. And it's really hard for a customer to navigate that. So far, this is doing a really good job of keeping that clean. What I would say is it could do with a bit of a banner along the top, just so you can see those buttons clearly, see the logo clearly, because some of that's getting a bit lost. And whilst it feels cleaner to do that, it's actually making it a little bit more messy and noisy. But honestly, overall, it's a great start and a great looking website. If we scroll down, if it lets me, there we go. So we come to the next section, Nordic bathing experience. So again, brand isn't just about the look and feel, it's also about the language and the wording that you use and how that wording is written. I don't know, I have a better way of saying it. And it's creating an intrigue and enough kind of drawing me in to be like, okay, what is this Nordic bathing experience? What is Nordic? And it's giving some really easy to hover over and just look at what that means and dive in a little bit more. Depending on how much they use the tagline Nordic bathing experience, something I would always say to brands is that just be mindful of if that's like your tagline or your strapline. So I know Nike has just do it. I think Apple's is think differently. You want to be something you can remember, but also it needs to be obvious as well to the potential customers what it is. And so Nordic bathing experience is kind of there. People will know, some people will know and get it straight away. Some people will be like, what is that? And for me, it's a fine line that I'm not going to stress over it, and nor should saltwater sauna stress over it. But I think having something that people don't have to Google or understand a bit further is really key. And so that's why for me it sits on that borderline of maybe working, maybe not, but it's nothing that's major. Now we move down to our sessions. So I love this. I think especially for a service or a product that's new to people and they're not really sure what it is, I think keeping it simple and not trying to overwhelm or overcomplicate things and trying to cater for everything and everyone is a must. And so there's 3 really clear sessions written here with some wording which explains each of them. There's a little bit of formatting that needs fixing and tidying up on the text, but I can read through each of these and go, oh, okay, I figure out which one it is that I want to click through to and book or inquire about. I see some businesses where the sessions or the services just go on and on and on, and you then create overwhelm for the customer and they have to then take time to think about which one to pick, and that friction point can put people off. People can then get distracted and they forget about it, and you've then lost that customer, right? So I love how it's clear, it's simple. I know which one I want to click on and book. And I would always recommend, like the communal sessions, I'm not someone who naturally would be like, yeah, let's join a load of strangers in a sauna for a session. But honestly, I'm glad I kind of did it the first time, and because you're always in a sauna with people who are like-minded. Everyone else is there for the same reason, and it's just a new experience, and people are just there to do what you're doing. So yeah, don't be afraid. And take the leap and book a communal session, because honestly, Everyone's really lovely, and the sauna masters and stuff that look after them make it really friendly and welcoming. And yeah, definitely recommend. Now, this is really good. I love this imagery. It's completely in keeping with the videos that were at the start. I think that's really key and consistent. If you have imagery that just doesn't match in terms of look and feel, again, it creates confusion and uncertainty with the customer, and they're then not sure which is the true version. And that might be subconscious, it might be consciously, but is something to definitely think about. Um, yeah, look at it. It's just drawing me in. I want to be there and be involved, and just it's kind of building that trust, drawing me in even further. And I'm like, this is stunning. I just want to be in the sauna right now, and then going for a sea dip, and it's doing exactly what it needs to do. Really good sustainability point. It looks as though they are, so really practical. Every sauna we plant a tree, so that's really good. There's so many times where sustainability is just like an add-on or a think about it afterwards. But I think taking actions speak louder than words, right? And I think doing that rather than just donating to a charity or that sort of thing is really good. And then this is something I see brands, especially local brands, not do enough of, and that is put a face to the business. Founders are really good versions of this, because we live in a world now where people want to see who is behind the brand and behind the business. They want to know, because we trust people generally. There is an element of trusting brands, but we find it easier to trust people, and personal brands and that sort of thing are really becoming the primary source of driving awareness and driving business. And so do not underestimate how important it is to have your story, explain why you created the business, why it exists, because some really powerful stories out there that are just hidden, and it's such a shame, because that is something that would really connect with a lot of people, and they go, oh, that's like, I want to get involved with that, and I want to be part of that, because I really believe in what I need to read the names. Arlene is doing with Saltwater sort of thing, so that people are, again, you're building that trust, building that human element, especially in this era of AI where people want to know that this is a human led business sort of thing. And so never underestimate the power of putting your face and your name and why you created the business out there. Yeah, really good. We got to the end of the main homepage. I love the footer. It's clean, it's not cluttered, it's not trying to do too much. I see it all the time where it's just like they're trying to fit in all these links that they couldn't put anywhere else, and they're like, right, we'll put them here. And I think this just is a really good job. There's a lot of breathing room around all the elements, and I think it just kind of matches the rest of the page and what it's trying to put across. So I think, really good footer there. I think if you're still with me, we can dive into one of the other pages. Let's have a look. Let's pick locations and see what comes up. Okay, love this. Really clear. I love the fact that there's some visuals, so I can, if I've walked past the Sandbanks ones, I can immediately see that. Boscombe one, that looks exciting. I think it's going to be like a 35-person size sauna, like a proper community sauna. That's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see that. Do these click through? Okay, that did work. That clicked through. So that highlights a little feature that probably I just want to quickly highlight. So making it obvious that what you can click on is clickable and it's going to lead to somewhere. To do this, usually you can add a feature where essentially when the mouse hovers over, that Sandbanks box could maybe grow a little bit in size, so it's clear that, okay, I click that and it takes me somewhere, because you don't want stuff that you've put time and effort into hiding away and not being clicked through to, and being kind of, there could be some really key information being lost that way. Love this. I like the stats, and it makes it really clear. This is really cool. So this takes you through the process. I like that. I think it'd be good to kind of label it as like what to expect. And then actually with some of these, sometimes, can this go the other way? Oh no. Okay. So it can only go one way, so that's good. Sometimes I see it where it's not clear if it's like an order of things. Just putting a little number in the top corner helps to anchor the customer in knowing where they need to start to read through things. But yeah, a little title to be like what to expect, so it's clear what it is that's telling me. Um, like this, I like the little graphics; they're fun, and make it really clear what I need to bring with me. Cool, that all works really well, and a nice map. Yeah, I don't think there's too much. I think, yeah, just put in kind of what to expect on that sort of thing. I think some of the colors, just consistency of like a brand palette's really key, because then having a palette that's consistent across everything again gives it that professional look. If you're putting time and effort into that, then people will trust that you're putting time and effort into the product or service that you're selling. So just on this point, this yellow, I think, is the first time I've seen it, or certainly in that size. So I think, and then there's a different kind of gold color down here. So I think just being consistent with that is really key. Because yeah, I think all of these points that I pointed out, while they may seem small, each of these may create like a small friction point to a potential customer. And the more friction points you have in there, the more likely that they are either to get distracted and be like, oh, okay, I've lost where I'm at. There's a lot of effort to read through and experience it. Or it's like kind of too many that they're just like, oh, this is too faffy. I don't understand it. A big kind of turn off for me with companies and businesses, if the website looks like it's been kind of thrown together, I would rarely or probably never buy, especially a product from that type of website, because I then don't trust if it's going to be taking my details and storing them privately and that side of the security of it things. And so I would then try and find that product being sold somewhere else, like Amazon or something like that, because I trust that they're going to hold the data and my payment information securely, sort of thing. So don't ever underestimate how important it is to have your website looking and feeling professional. Right, I think got a little bit of time. Let's quickly jump to the book section. But yeah, I remember interacting with this. Yeah, so I think sometimes with these sorts of features, it's really hard because they are bolt-on features that you don't have always full control over. So I think if you're starting out, or if you're looking to change your booking system or that sort of thing, always look at it from the customer's point of view first. I know it's really tempting to look at what the back end looks like and how easy it is for you to use it, and kind of how powerful it is to structure the client, the business facing side. But if the customer facing side is complicated, there's a learning curve, you're adding more friction points in, and it makes it really hard then for potential customers to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to book on. So yeah, that's just always a good tip to follow. I think overall, I mean, it works, right? People are booking on, the sessions are full, or they're closed, full. And like, there's hardly any availability. So the booking system isn't not working. Say that right? Booking system is working, right? And so it doesn't necessarily come as a massive priority, but I think where to improve, I think having a filter on there that allows you to find the next available session with X number of slots, makes it really easy for someone to put in and go and find, like, book onto that slot straight away. Because I think, and this may be an issue that they have faced, is people booking onto the wrong sauna and turning up in the wrong place. And then, what's okay, customers should have checked. That means that there's opportunities of people missing slots, or they're like, it's just, yeah, you create, again, more friction. And whilst the customer will probably own that as their mistake, you don't want to be creating those sorts of things for your potential customers. And so being able to filter, okay, you filter in by communal or private, fine, and you can filter by location. So there's an element of safeness in there. But again, if you're like, for us, when we're looking, we look across all locations because we don't mind traveling a bit further if we've got the time. And so having something in there that just allows us to click through and go, when's the next available slot that has 2 spaces, sort of thing. Just makes it seamless. And this long list is very daunting and very overwhelming. So having some refinements there by grouping time slots together or that sort of thing could really help. Overall, Saltwater Sauna are doing a lot of things really, really well. And that's testament to the fact that they are fully booked, like in most of their sauna slots over the next couple of weeks, and you have to get on it and be hot on booking at the right time. The foundations are really good. The color palette overall is strong and matches to what the brand is selling. Because essentially you want to give that vibe and make the customer feel good and feel like you're drawing them in for the right reasons. And so if Saltwater Sauna, for example, picked a neon color palette, like really bright, really out there, it's really contrasting to what they're actually selling. So using kind of that darker, muted, earthy tones and palette matches the service, right? And like the things that I picked up are small, but they could be losing customers because of some of those things. Now, because of the capacities they've got, that's not an issue at the moment, and that's fine. But as businesses grow, you always need to make sure you're refining and iterating that in the same way that you probably would iterate your product or service to make sure that that is continually meeting customer needs. The website, your structure, how you show up needs to also continually iterate. So yeah, hopefully it gives you an insight as to what I do or part of what I do. If you are a business owner and you want me to do the same for your business, then there's a link below to my website where you can find out a bit more. And yeah, be sure to watch out for next one that I do. If you've got any suggestions as to who I should pick and review, or if it's your business and you want me to review yours live, whack it in the comments. Thanks everyone, and see you soon.